The speech is Moment on the Lips. Toastmasters Ritu, the floor is all yours.
Never have I ever fasted on any occasion, not even after gobbling up the feast called Dar one day before the famous fasting festival for women called the Teas. I was never programmed to fast or starve myself for the entire day on wishful thinking of landing a good job or a good husband. Instead, I thought that I would fall sick, or rather I would faint with weakness. But Dr. Mark Batson, a neuroscientist in Johns Hopkins University, contests this. He says that our bodies have evolved to go without food for several days or even longer because in prehistoric times, humans were hunters and gatherers who took several days to hunt and gather food. But now, due to TV, internet, fast and processed food, and of course our desk job, we are sitting and snacking all day and sometimes during the night too. And because of this, the higher calories and less activity means that there's higher risk of obesity, heart diseases, illnesses and other diseases than our predecessors. But now scientific evidence shows that intermittent fasting can reverse this trend. So what is intermittent fasting? How does science prove that intermittent fasting can actually help us lose weight? What are the side effects and risks of intermittent fasting? Slow down your thoughts. I'm going to take you through all of this today. Good morning, presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Diets, Mediterranean, keto, high carb, low protein, or just diets in general is about what to eat, but intermittent fasting is about when to eat. The National Institute of Aging in United States classifies intermittent fasting into 4 types. First one being daily time restrictive feeding, meaning that narrowing your eating period to 6 to 8 hours per day. Second one is alternate day fasting, where you fast for alternate days and unrestricted for the next day. Third one is 5 to 2 intermittent fasting, which is people limit to one moderate sized meals every 2 days in a week. And fourth one is periodic fasting, where people fast for multiple consecutive days in a row and then unrestricted for the rest. So how do we actually lose weight from following one of these 4 fasts? Dr. Monique Jello, a clinical instructor at Harvard Medical School, in her 2018 Harvard Health blog wrote that carbohydrates break down into our body into sugar, which we consume as energy. But if we do not consume this as energy, it stores in our fat cells as fat. But sugar can enter in the fat cells only with the help of insulin. And the entire idea of intermittent fasting is to lower your insulin levels so far down that we actually start to consume energy from our stored fat or energy during our fasting period, which is how we lose weight. So we all want long-term benefits or solutions for weight loss and health management, right? So Dr. Mark Batson, the neuroscientist who studied intermittent fasting for the last 25 years and himself adopted it for the last 20 years in his research article, Effects of Intermittent Fasting on Health, Aging and Disease, published in 2019, says that young adults who fasted for 16 hours lost fat, but they retained the muscle mass, which helped them prevent obesity, which help them from become obese in the future, and also improve their verbal memory and cardiovascular health. National Institute of Aging also supports this theory by saying that when we use stored energy in the form of ketones, it helps our brain function in the maximum capacity. Also, the release of ketones in our blood sugar means lower level of insulin, which means lesser risk of type 2 diabetes, and also it helps ourselves from, prevents ourselves from developing dementia, arthritis, and other cancer cells. So what are the side effects or risks of intermittent fasting? Dr. Mark Batson says that this fast should not be conducted by children or teenagers because they are still developing, mothers, pregnant women or mothers because they need nutrients for themselves and the baby, and people with eating disorder, blood sugar problems or diabetes because of obvious reasons. and National Institute of, but for the others, scientists have advised to consult a doctor before resorting to intermittent fasting, because there have been researches conducted on humans of the effects of intermittent fasting on them, but none of them have been long-term yet. And most of the research have been conducted on obese people and on adults who are below the age of 60. Therefore, intermittent fasting is a pattern eating lifestyle. It not just offering weight loss benefits to the obese, it helps others to for improved metabolism, cardiovascular health, brain functioning, and also may prevent us from developing dementia, arthritis, or development of cancer cells and type 2 diabetes in the future. With the risk involved and bigger return, it's best to consult a doctor before resorting to intermittent fasting. Now, when you ask me, never have I ever fasted on any occasion, I would say I have. I am guilty of joining the intermittent fasting bandwagon after seeing my friends, influencers, and cousins follow this fast and visibly reduce their weight. But I can surely say I did not do it for a good husband or a good job. I did it for a better health and a better figure. And I can surely say that I did not faint due to weakness or haven't fallen sick yet. In this whole process, I realized that weight loss is a continuous journey and not something that happens overnight or doesn't meet the eyes or on Instagram. It takes not just one, but a number of healthy habits and processes within the body to balance that movement of food on your lips, to keep it off your hips and other parts of the body. Over to you, Toastmaster of the morning.
Toastmaster Ritu, what an ecstatic title. Moment on the lips. And yesterday I sent her a message, just to get a rough idea about what her research was about. And she said it was on kiss. And with that energy, I was waiting for her to give that presentation on kiss. And she starts with intermittent fasting. Something that we all most probably are aware of, some of us are not. Now, research means you don't know but are willing to find out. And this is exactly what Toastmaster Ritu did today. She shared some information on intermittent fasting, and what a well-researched speech she delivered today. All the details about Dr. John Hopkins, Dr. Tello, Dr. Mattson. In fact, I only knew about 2 intermittent fastings, and she explained about 4 intermittent fasting with us today. Now, with all the well-researched document, it's easier, she was very clear about how she was using her communication skill, and she was fully self-assured in front of the audience. But what this does to a speaker is, it makes you become overconfident, and sometimes it makes you speak so fast that it sounds like that you are in a rush. And this project, especially this project, the research and presentation, it makes even good speakers do that, because you are downloading so much information that you want to share all this information with the audience. But we have a time constraint. But hats off to you, Toastmaster Ritu, because you finished it well within the time limit. But it did sound like that you were in a rush. So if you could speak a little bit slowly, that would have been better. Another thing I would like to suggest to you for improvement is your hand gesture. It was very limited to this and this. So if you could, this hand is a very, very powerful tool. Open it wide. Don't limit to this and this. Use it as a tool to explain. When you say, you can ask a doctor there. You could do that. Instead of saying you can ask any doctor, you can ask a doctor and they will tell you how intermittent fasting helps. Something like that. Always helps. Also, another thing is we have more technology here. We have the resources. All you need to do is plug it in and show us the resources. Because presentation without the slides and without showing us the resources would be very limiting to yourself. So all in all, Toastmaster Ritu, I know you are a very wonderful speaker, and I congratulate you for completing this project, and I look forward for your future speeches soon. Thank you. Over to you.